Currently, Dave Ramsey has multiple lawsuits against him for dealing with this timeshare exit team. He was the main endorser behind this, and from what I've been able to read, over 10,000 customers had signed up due to his endorsement. And this is one of the resort organizations that is suing him, and there's a lawsuit from a state also that is suing him for a lot of the followers or people that came from his commercials on his radio show. Uh, I can tell you, bottom line, the things that concerned me when I read through this is that they're stating this one here with this Welk Resorts, they're stating that the timeshare exit team said that people's credit scores would not be damaged and that split fees with lawyers. I don't know how that was put into the sales pitch, but I could definitely see how this was put into the sales pitch. And then the other thing that was very concerning to me, which I'm surprised that Dave Ramsey would have kind of agreed to it, because if people want to get out of the timeshare but their credit is good, then they have to break the contract, which is going to destroy their credit. And that's exactly what this Welk Resorts was saying. But also, another thing that concerned me is that people will stop paying their payments and they're going to start sending payments to the timeshare exit team. And basically, what the lawsuit is stating, when they looked at what the timeshare exit team did, and this is something that I teach people, well, not teach, I tell people to do this because this is the first step on you dealing with a dispute with any company. It doesn't matter if you use a lawyer, it doesn't matter if you use a service. This is what they're going to do. They are going to send a demand letter stating your concerns about the contract, about how you were treated, all of those things, and they're gonna try to back it up with some of the laws, and then what they're hoping is that the company is gonna let you out of the contract. Well, obviously, people were not being let out of the contract, and these resort companies are under a lot of pressure right now. And let me tell you the reason why is because they actually sell these contracts to finance companies. These finance companies are investment firms, and they don't want to have tons of these contracts continually coming back or people not paying. It's just bad for business. And they kind of state that in here. It said that it's with what was going on, unless this racketeering scheme is stopped, in their words, for the wealth. Timeshare exit team and others listed in the suit will continue to disrupt the vacation ownership contracts, further damaging vacation owners and vacation ownership companies throughout the U.S. Now, I'm not going to speak too much on that because that's their words on it.
Returning visitor.
But what I will speak on, in my opinion, is that these companies are going to try their best not to let people out of those contracts because it's going to mess up them being able to finance people for future contracts. So they're going to, just because you send a demand letter, they're not going to stop it. And what they what ends up happening with all of these timeshare companies, I mean, you can just look it up for yourself. In my opinion, you don't have to take my words. There's been multiple shut companies like these shut down. Is that they send out the demand letters, they might get lucky on a few. Some people were ran over, didn't feel like they were given the opportunity to turn it down if they were under extreme pressure, which does happen, but there's going to be certain circumstances that will qualify and certain that won't qualify. But if you're just trying to get out of it because you can't afford it anymore, don't want to pay the money, that's not going to be enough to be able to get out.
Returning visitor.
So they showed that what timeshare exit team and companies just like them, what they were doing is they were sending a demand letter, which is what I tell you to do. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. But what is wrong is that you're going to have people do that and pay you money on a monthly basis. It's showing that some people had actually paid up to $100,000, and they were promised a refund if it was not if they were not being able to get their contract terminated. But they collected millions of dollars. Thousands of people's contracts were not terminated, and you could see the end result. They were shut down, and now there's a $150 million lawsuit that's out there, and there's several other lawsuits that are either in the pipeline or that are starting out. So if you find yourself in a situation with a timeshare and you want to figure a way out of getting out of that timeshare, you can make a demand letter, but you're going to have to state the reasons behind why you believe uh, you were either wronged or pressured, whatever that is, and then you match that up with some law for your state on dealing with timeshares. You look up the history of the company that sold you the timeshare, and then you
Returning visitor.
bundle all of that up into a demand letter. And with if you have a financial hardship, you can also add that in there, and then you can see what they're going to come back with a response. What I'm surprised with is that a lot of people were paying payments over and over and over again, month after month after month for years, and they didn't even have any responses from this timeshare exit team. There is no way that my company would ever do anything like that. We would always have the communication sent to the client and to us, or just to the client, and the client got that information to us when we send out those demand letters. So I don't even know how that was working, but I think that because they used religion, because they had Dave Ramsey, it was able, a lot of the things that people would like to make sure about a company was kind of being disregarded. So I just wanted to make you aware of this just in case you haven't seen it. If you're involved with this, maybe you can get some of your money back. There are multiple lawsuits out there. If you're still dealing with an issue with a timeshare, you can take the information that I mentioned earlier in this video, submit a demand letter, because that's basically what they're doing. Not to say that there's no value in that, because a lot of people don't understand how to do that, but that is exactly what they're doing. And I don't believe that sending a demand letter is worth $3,000 to $7,000. I just would not charge someone that amount of money to send them a demand letter. Now, if you got into the negotiations about settling and canceling out the timeshare agreement, that's another thing, because that's saving the person a lot of money, but not just to be doing demand letters. That's what is on record that timeshare exit team was doing. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at creditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt
New
validation, and
visitor.
cease and desist collection activities letter. Also, I forgot, they had stated in one of the lawsuits that thousands of the clients that had stopped paying, that their debt was actually past the legal statute of limitations to collect, and that they were not going to have to pay that debt, and they still took them on as a client for that timeshare. Can't try to cancel out their timeshare, when in essence, because the timeshare company did not take the individual to court, they did not have to pay. So thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of the CreditRepairShop.com.